Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mark with DBS-Decks, and I am bringing you another deck profile. And we got away from green and yellow, and we are going to red and blue today. Now, with Cooler, I have been on the fence about, right? I've looked at the set, and when Set 9 came out, I saw Cooler, and I saw people hyping it up, and all the mill, and like people were like, oh, being able to play a 5-drop 20k double striker on turn 1 is stupid. And it's like, yeah, well, there's ways you can deal with it. And there are. But it's one of those things where I looked at it and I'm like, it seems kind of gimmicky. And you see decks like this, you're like, it seems like it's going to kind of go hard and fast and just kind of putter out. But then as you investigate the deck, you kind of build it a little bit more and you really dig into it, you find out that it's actually one of the best mid-range decks in the format. And it does very dirty things when it wants to. So let's talk about the leader. The leader on the front side says, when this card attacks a leader card, draw one card. Auto, when one of your opponent's cards' power is decreased, your opponent sends the top card of their deck to the drop area. Auto, once per turn, during your opponent's turn, if one of your opponent's cards is decreased, draw one card. And then it's got the Awaken, when your life is at 4 or less, draw a card, Radiant Energy, flip this card over. And then on the backside, it's got when this card attacks, draw a card, and then it's got the same two effects from the front. When your opponent's cards are power on your opponent's cards decreased, they mill a card, and then auto once per turn during your opponent's turn. When the power of the card is decreased, you draw a card. So it's the leader's got a very simple engine. He doesn't do it himself, which is nice because that would be insane. But if you're able to decrease cards and make that happen, then he's going to start making your opponent's resources disappear very quickly. So how do we make that happen? What's the engine? First, before we start the engine, I'm going to talk about the importance of this card, Beerus Divine Obliterator. This is the blue-red super combo for the deck. I don't know if I've seen other lists that don't run 4. I run 4 because you need to have your energy ready, open, and available all the time. It is very important that this happens. Zinsubian is also a key player in this deck, which we have 4 of, you'll see later on. But having the 4 blue-red super combo is non-optional, in my opinion. That's because Cooler. You want to be able to play Cooler turn 1. So you start with this, and any other multicolor card. You got a turn 1 Cooler, and if they're playing aggro and they've got cards on the board, you're going to deal with them. They're going to mill cards. It's going to be a great time. So this also gives you a nice little aggressive start as well because you're able to do 20k double strike right off the bat, which that's always a pain to deal with, right? So having 4 of these, getting this engine going to get the mill going is very important. Then we move away from Cooler, we get to the Frieza line. And I'm going to start by saying I love this card. Frieza Death's Embrace. I've seen people running 2 and 3 of. Some people just don't run it at all. I run it out of 4 of because it's dispensable. It replaces itself, so it's auto when you play this card, draw a card. But it's the activate battle for 1 red that you want to worry about. It's choose one of your opponent's battle cards, give it minus 10k power. So you're decreasing, and you can do it multiple times a turn. It's not once per turn. You do it multiple times. No, they don't stack because obvious effect, but they make your opponent's life really difficult, and each time you do that, they mill a card because it's a sequence. So if you do 20k to them, so if you go minus 20k by paying 2 energy, they're milling 2 cards off the Cooler. This card's nuts. Run 4 of it. That's all I gotta say. And then, continuing on the Frieza line, I brought some of the swap engine in. So we play 3 of the Overture to Battle. It's got the swap for 2, and then when you play this card, give your leader card +5. Frieza, Mutable Menace. Activate main. Place this card in your drop area, and you play the 3-drop from your hand, which I play 4 of, which is Frieza Storm of Blows. And then send this card from your drop area to the warp, and this card on your battle area to the warp for 1 blue. And then you play the 5-drop. Full power Frieza, 100% overdrive. We're going to talk about this card in just a second, but I want to finish talking about these. So, Mutable Menace is one of the regional championship cards, and I know people have that stigma about promo cards where they hate having to pay for expensive promos, but I am sorry to say you do need this card in this deck. It is part of the engine. It does make your life easier. It helps you get to this card very quickly. The fact that you can do it from the drop area, and if you're at like 4 energy and just need to hard cast real quick, and then you can get this out, get that out, get that out. It's a good day for you. Generally, it makes it so you can just play the full power Frieza 100% overdrive for 2 energy, though. So that's an important thing to remember. And then again, the Frieza Storm of Blows, it's a barrier 3 drop, and for 15k it also comes out and KOs one of your opponent's battle cards 20,000 power or less. So it deals with things. So in the Mirror Magic card's great, because it deals with your opponent's coolers if they have them. So now we have the full power Frieza 100% overdrive, and we're going to talk about this guy here. So he's a triple strike 30k, and his auto says when this card attacks, choose all your opponent's battle cards, ignore barrier, and give minus 30k. It is a total board wipe. There's not a lot that survives a hit like that. Once that happens, it's like over for your opponent's board, and there's nothing they can do. So that's going to trigger your leader. They're going to mill a card. But not only that, the auto for Frieza also triggers as well. When one of your opponent's battle cards' power is decreased, or it's actually just one of your opponent's cards' power is decreased. No, it's battle cards. It just says battle cards. Is decreased. They mill 2 cards. So decrease the battle card. They mill 2 cards. Mill 1 card there. So this makes mill 3 for every single card that you just, hit. And I know there's that gimmick with like the Android 21 scheme with the tokens and make a mill like 20 cards or whatever. But it's like too much setup for that. But the Frieza combo in this is just crazy. So this bad boy is like one of your boss cards. It comes out, it just ends the game very quickly for them, because you've pretty much milled half their deck that's remaining, or sometimes you'll mill them out depending on the amount of cards they've had out there. Like if they're playing U11 and they're not careful, you're easily going to get like 15 cards off of them, and that can actually be detrimental and probably mill them out. Utility cards that do some neg power and other cool battle tricks. Hercule, Majin Buu, Friends Forever. I run this at 2 right now. I'm probably going to up it to 3 just because I like to be able to bounce my coolers back regularly. And it also is it's a nice 19k, draws you a card. It does things. It arrives red, blue for 1 blue. And then also the Vegeta Exploiting Weakness. I play 4 of them. Now, a testament to how powerful this deck is I haven't had to cast this card yet, because by the time we get to the point where I would need this, usually I have full control of the game, and there's not much they can do about it. This is great as a backup resource for when, like, let's say you're not drawing anything you need and you're just not finding your stuff. This is a great resource for that, to help you search things out, or to not search things out, but to kind of stop the rush, so to speak. It still triggers cooler. It gives you +5 for defense on the counterplay. But the card definitely, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep it at 4. It's just a utility card. I spent too much time talking about that. And then Combo Attack Cooler. This card, I don't know if I've seen people running it. If you're not running it, you should be running it, because the card's nuts. So it's activate battle, pay 1 blue, choose 1 red or blue Frieza Clan card in your battle area, return to the hand, play this card for free. When this card attacks, get a multicolor red-blue card from your drop area, battle card specifically, and combo with it. So you get this out. Like, let's say you just got the cooler out, right? You get the cooler out, you did some things, you attack with it. And then you attack with your leader, pay a blue, get this card out, returns back to your hand. And then let's say you have another energy open because it's on your turn. Obviously, Divine Obliterator is not going to work. But let's say you attack, and let's say you had a Divine Obliterator in your drop. Cool. Combo with it. Pay the red. Play the cooler. Do it again. Attack with the cooler. And then it just keeps going. Combo Attack Cooler is an absolutely nuts card. I can't believe it's a rare, to be honest with you. It's a very good card. Incredibly powerful. I played out of 4 of. I definitely feel like it needs to be a 4 of. Not only does it help you just recycle your combos easily, also helps you kind of just get aggro on the board. So, and they don't want to attack it, because then if you have a Divine Obliterator in your drop area, it goes live, and if you have a cooler in your hand, which you might, then that happens again. Or Hercule Majin Buu bounces it back at the end of the turn, and they're going to neg a card, and it just does things that they don't want to have to deal with. And then we're down to the final utility cards. Mecha Frieza Energy Blight. This is your Energy Exhaust Ignore card, but also it's got a nice effect when it attacks. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards or leader cards and give it -5,000 for the duration of the battle. So it still triggers things. If you say you need a final push, I need to get 2 cards off of them. How do I do it? Let's say you have this in hand. or like you have a Frieza on board, and all you need to do is just get their leader, just attack, get their leader, it's over. Like, they lose. So, good resource to have. Good thing to remember that attack. And then the final battle card for the deck is the Black Smoke Dragon Eternal Evil. This is not, I don't know if it's really necessary. I just run it to, have a nice boss finisher card. When you have 12 or more cards in your drop area, this card becomes a 5-drop. And then activate main once per turn, choose one. Either choose all your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and send them to the opponent's warp. Send the top 7 cards of your opponent's deck to their warp, and then draw 2 cards, or choose 4 cards in your opponent's hand and send them to the warp. So it cleans your opponent up really good for you. It's a 40k. Like I said, he doesn't attack, but since he's 40k and he's a 10-drop, it's really, really difficult to deal with. And then the extra cards, we run 4 after image technique because red and it just negates, adds, it does everything you need. And then the Zensu Beans, obviously. So that is the deck profile. It's a pretty straightforward deck list. I have a few changes I'm probably going to make to it. I'm not 100% sold on 4 of the Vegeta exploiting weaknesses, like I said. I also think I need to run more Hercule, Majin Buu, Friends Forever. I could be wrong, I don't know, but my policy that I'm following for the meta is if this deck doesn't win, which it didn't, I got 3rd place with it last night. If this deck doesn't win, then look at your deck, choose at least 1 card from that deck, and then change it, and then tweak it until it's perfect, right? Don't change your whole deck up, just change 1 thing in there. Just see if it works, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, well then, back to the drawing board. But this deck's nuts. I highly recommend it. It's a great competitive deck, and it will, if you build it right and you practice with it and you know your ins and outs and you can outplay your opponent, you're going to do very well with it. But anyway, guys, that is the cooler video. Hope you liked. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.